Here's the truth bomb. Building authentic connections online isn't about posting frequency or follower count. It's about genuine engagement. I have seen brands with hundreds of thousands to millions of followers fail to successfully engage those communities. And I have seen brands and businesses with a few hundred to a few thousand followers where 100% of those followers are completely sold and engaged on what that brand represents and what they're doing. In the last 15 years, I have spent hours on hours refining my 6-step process for truly connecting with your audience online, and I'm here to share it with you. The first is know your core. Make sure that everything that you do when you're presenting your brand or business to the world ladders up to a specific set of values and mission. If you're clear on who you are, who you service, and why you service them, you cannot go wrong. Number 2, speak human. Leave that corporate jargon behind. Connect with your audience through real conversation. Understand how that audience is speaking to each other online. Spend more time listening before you start talking. Just really connect with their jargon, with their lingo, with who they are and how they communicate and what's important to them in the way that they communicate, and join that conversation authentically when you feel confident and ready to do so. The third, show, don't tell. Meaning, people in this generation are over seeing that highly curated, highly polished end product outcome. They're way more interested in the journey than they are the destination.
Behind you is the first round of a lot of our samples. We're going to go ahead and kick off.
Yeah, but it would be like that kind of puppy, kind of Y2K.
So easy.
Yeah, you can
totally.
just throw it on. It's just me and you, bud.
Get behind the scenes. Show them the gritty. Show them the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Show them the teams that are working on bringing your product to life and going to market.
Riz. What's it like to hold the yacht of someone you love? Riz.
Make sure that you are giving them a real inside scoop into what's going on so they can feel just as invested in your brand and your business than you are.
This is how we got from this to this. First, we always ask our supplier to send us some print samples just so we can check the quality and the color of the print. Since we were making a new black set, I just put on an old one and we started playing around with the print placement.
The fourth is engage genuinely. That means respond in real time with real messages. Don't rely on robots or regurgitated automated messages. Of course, you should always have your FAQ and your frequent responses to train your community managers with. But when you bring on your social media manager to run your consumer responses, make sure that you're supporting them in developing an authentic tone and voice for your brand that they can use to both react to consumers who are already on your page and reaching out, but also to reach out and proactively recruit those consumers with a brand tone and voice that feels authentic. Whatever it is that defines you, and once again, that ladders back to your mission and your values, is exactly how you want to engage with your consumers, both prospective and existing. The fifth is never be afraid to admit mistakes. Trust is one of the most important factors for this generation when it comes to whether or not they are going to engage with your community, buy your product, or recommend your product. And that trust doesn't start with the day they make the purchase. That trust starts with your willingness to listen to them, with your willingness to take feedback. It's perfectly normal in this day and age, working with partners, working with influencers, writing out your brand campaign and your narratives to miss the mark. It happens all the time, to major brands, to small brands. We've all seen it. Rather than go into PR crisis mode and pretend like it never happened or delete comments or hide comments, just be transparent with your audience about what led to those mistakes and what you're going to do as a brand and as a business to do better.
Bumble just showed us how you craft the perfect corporate apology. They start off not only by taking accountability, but specifically naming the criticism that they faced and the communities that they harmed. So many brands won't do this because they don't actually want to bring attention to what they're under heat for. Secondly, this is solution oriented. They are listing the actions that they're going to take instead of saying, we're going to move on, we're going to live and learn, we're listening to you. They're removing the campaign, they're donating to the affected communities, and they're being specific about where those donations are going to, so that you as a consumer know where the money is going, the money that ultimately came from you and other consumers. And while I think this is secondary, they also reiterate their values as an organization to you. They're also giving up the billboard space and ad time to the impacted communities. And lastly, they're encouraging their users to continue speaking up, continue putting them in check, continue holding them accountable. I personally think they should start running focus groups before they run any ads, if they don't do that already.
There's nothing more important to this generation in today's day and age than connecting at the level of trust and transparency. And they can only do that if they feel heard. So do not be afraid if you make a mistake to admit that you made that mistake. The sixth and final piece of my formula is collaborate wisely. We all know in this generation, you cannot go to market without a great influencer or creator strategy. That means that you are partnering with third parties to bring your brand story, to bring your brand narrative, to bring your values and your mission to life. You want to partner with creators and influencers who are as genuinely aligned to those values and to that mission and to that tone and voice that you've spent all of that time establishing and building as possible. You want to make sure that the content that those partners, those creators, those influencers are posting on their channel is super aligned to the point where their audience will 100% believe them when they advocate for your product, and know that they're not just advocating for that product because they received a paycheck. What you want is to take a very thorough, deep dive into that prospective partner's content, dating back years and years, and do a whole lot of analysis and risk mitigation. Have they posted something controversial in the past? Have they recently posted a competitive product? Are they taking different brand deals left, right, and center every day and just spitting out scripts? What is their audience saying, and how are they responding to the partnerships that they've put out there? Are you seeing positivity? Are you seeing purchase intent? Are you seeing excitement? Are you seeing genuine interaction? The more aligned those partners and those creators are to that foundational work that you did as a business, those values, that mission, that tone and voice, the easier it's going to be for them to sell your product, not just as a product, but also as a lifestyle. Over the course of my career, I have witnessed countless businesses ignore the A for authenticity. And here's the kicker. Your audience can smell disingenuousness from a mile away. If you are not prioritizing a genuine connection rooted in authentic storytelling, your brand proposition will not succeed.
So there you have it, my 6-step proven formula for creating lasting, engaging connections and turning those casual scrollers into loyal customers. And remember, in the world of social media, authenticity isn't just a strategy, it's a superpower. Want more marketing tips like this? Make sure to hit subscribe and let me know in the comments what you want to hear.